Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and today I'm going to show you my top 10 favorite manga covers in my collection. This is a response video to Lotus, so I'm going to link up his video below and you can go and check it out. Essentially, this is my top 10, but I collected my top 10 covers a few days ago, and then I went back and changed them. So, you know, this is a very fluid list. It's not necessarily my top 10 of all time. You know, I change my mind from like day to day, my mood changes, and there's just so much to choose from. These are the ones that I just particularly gravitate to, or they tended to be cover buys for me, and there's just something about them that I really love. So anyway, I'm just going to show you what I have put together, and I'm going to start from the least to the best. My top 3 probably are my favorite covers of all time, and they're the ones that I could think of like just immediately when I saw Lotus's video. I was like, oh, I know what my top 3 are, but I don't know what my top 10 are. So yeah, this list will change. Probably if I did this video in a week from now, it would be a different list. There you go. Anyway, number 10. So I really love Yoki Koto Kiku by Koge Dombo. It's just the static image of 3 siblings, and just the illustration of it, so you can see them. It just sort of looks like a early 20th century photograph. You know, there's slightly darkened sepia tones, and you can't really see it very well here, but there's a really interesting cross-hatching. It's very heavy-handed, and it almost looks horror-esque. The story itself is also horror-esque. It's not quite a horror. It's involving very cute characters. If you've read Koge Dombo, you know that her characters are very cute. But it also involves a lot of attempted murder in this series, and so there's just that quality to it because it is so static, and because you can relate it to a period in time, that you can also kind of add on to it the creepy factor, even though it just happens to be extra super cute. And then it's just sort of framed in this dark maroon color, and even the script, you can see there's little skulls in the script. So I just really like this cover, and especially right now because I am currently reading Koge Dombo, and I haven't read her in so long, and all of a sudden I've rediscovered her and I'm loving every minute of it. So right now this just really appeals to me. And then you can see the back cover just has some of the characters, but it's very cute. And then this one's going to be quite odd. This is number 9. This is Love Roma Volume 2 by Minoru Toyoda, and you can see from the illustration it is very bold. You have these 2 characters, and they're highly cartoonized. It looks more like a manga-inspired American comic, something like Faith Erin Hicks would draw, or something like Scott Pilgrim by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is what this looks like, and so it's so different from everything else in my collection, and I just really love the aesthetic, plus the fact that it's just so bold, it's so bright, and you can see all of the characters in the series in the background, so all of them are represented there. So it's just a really fun cover, and I just really enjoy it. And then on the back, the back of all of the volumes are actually sort of more comic strip, and they're just in color, but you can tell that it's a very bold style, and it's just very appealing to me. Number 8 is Volume 10 of Swan, and this would actually go higher if the characters in the middle had more tension, but as they are, they're just sort of performing a kind of more of a quiet ballet move, and it's just that it's very ethereal. All of the girls are in very beautiful dresses, and just forms this really pretty rainbow on the cover. It's just that this like mass of bodies, and Swan tends to have really dramatic and very tense covers, and then this one is just very mellow and quiet, and I do tend to like quiet covers, and I really think that the dresses on here are really pretty. Number 7 is Translucent, number 2 by Kazuhiro Okamoto, and this one is just a really well designed cover. The story is about a girl who is becoming translucent, and you can see some of the painting. Because it is watercolor, you get this very translucent light illustration, and you can see some of the background of the image through her, and so you already get this like very almost glass-like quality to this girl. But then the publisher Dark Horse the publisher Dark Horse went a little bit further and just put on a really great font that just mimics what this story is about so well. And so you can see here that it's quite dark here, and you've got these lines that kind of indicate that it is sort of disappearing, and then as you move up it becomes more translucent through the body of the girl, and so you can actually see her through the lettering as well. And so it's just a really well designed cover, and it's just very pretty. So I think that this one is quite nice. And number 6 is going to be very odd after the last one, and that is Octopus Girl number 3 by Toru Yamazaki. And actually, when I was making this list, I was just pulling out horror because I love horror covers. And this is a horror cover, and you know, if you saw this from far away, you would just think, oh, it's sort of like an odd-looking girl, very 80s. You know, she's got kind of the 80s hairdo with the headband and, you know, lots of fluorescence. And just you get closer, you can see there's blood coming out of her mouth and her eyes are darkened. And it's just the illustration itself is so great, and it just really mimics what the story is about, because it's about kind of cute girls who are like one's an octopus and one is an eel, and it's just gross but funny, and they're into like girly things, and just it's so much fun to read, and I really love it. This is also Dark Horse, so if you have a chance to read this one, it's quite a lot of fun, but also the covers, just because of the illustration. Also the text font actually is very nice, at least it kind of mimics the fluorescent colors, as well as the fact that she's got, you know, wiggly tentacles, so it's kind of wiggly and spooky at the same time. So it is quite nice. As far as like full design, I wouldn't say it's like the greatest, but I really love the illustration, and I just love what it kind of represents for the story. Number 5 is this volume of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. This is from that hardcover 2-in-1 like complete edition from Viz. And again, this isn't because of the design so much as it is from just the illustration. This just happens to be probably my very favorite illustration from Nausicaa, and I have had this as my, you know, my desktop wallpaper probably since you could have desktop wallpapers, and it just never changes. I change it on other computers, but my home computer is always this, and it just, I love this illustration so much. I love this image so much. I love that she comes right into the corner. It's just that this really great sense of movement, and even the bug in the background, there's just so much life to it. So it's really, really great. Unfortunately, this cover, because it has this large band of text here, it cuts off some of the flyer that she's writing, and it takes away her hand that she's holding on to, so it does lose a little bit of the movement because they have cut off the corner of the image. So that's a little bit why it only makes it to number 5, but I love, love, love this image. This is quite nice though. The text itself is not maybe the greatest, but it does go around, and you get sort of the illustrations from the walls, and sort of these, yeah, sort of the folktale illustrations that are representative of the story. The cover itself is quite nice, but it's just missing that one bit, and that would have made it really good. The text itself, though, is not, it's nothing special, so it's number 5. Number 5 is actually a Japanese volume that I own, and it's Yume no Soko, and this is by Hisai Iwaoka, and she's the author of Saturn Apartment. So this is just a one-shot title of hers, and you can see here that there's children floating on clouds above a city, and it wraps around and you can see more city, and just one child kind of floating down, and there's like little animals and stuff. There's a little animal here in a suit, and it's so pretty and dreamy, and Obviously from the title Yume, it's about dreams, but it is, it's so sweet. I love the illustration. I love the way that she draws all of her characters, and I just think that it is really, really pretty. I love the wraparound. I love that you're kind of above kind of the regular space, and it really gives that floaty feeling, especially here with this boy here, because you don't actually feel like he's falling, you just kind of feel like he's floating. So yeah, I just really love this cover, and obviously it was a cover by, I bought it in Japan and I've never read it. You know, there's too many kanji in it and I've never bothered to translate it. So I just bought it based on the cover because I thought it was so pretty. And actually flipping through it, the illustrations inside, I love the illustrations in it. So definitely probably has similar quality to Saturn Apartments if you've read that. And now on to my top 3 covers. So these are the ones that I could think of off the top of my head every single time. They're always going to be my top 3 until something else comes along. One of them is actually new from this year. So the first, or number 3, is a Dr. Slump, and number 5. And I can't tell you how much I love this illustration of Aurelie Chan. It's incredibly simple, but it is highly detailed. So you can see here, you know, all of the detailing in her her hair, in her helmet, but at the same time she is so kind of almost flat, and I just really love the two-dimensionality, the three-dimensionality of this. I love that she kind of pops out, but at the same time is still very cartoony. The text itself is maybe not super fancy, but I do like the little glasses there at the top. So I just I really respond well to this. This is another image that I kind of have had plastered all over everything since I have discovered it. I love this little image. And really, I just love everything that Akira Toriyama draws, so this just happens to be probably my favorite cover of all of his covers. And it's odd because it doesn't have a lot of action in it, but I just love the high detailing of it, because you don't always see his high detailing, you usually kind of see his simple drawings, and so just the high detailing is really appreciated. This is definitely my aesthetic. And number 2, you know that this title is going to have to be on this list somewhere. So Vagabond number 22. So this is my very favorite of all of the singles or single volumes of Vagabond. I don't collect the Viz Bigs yet, but this one is absolutely beautiful. It's so, I love it. As soon as I saw it, I was absolutely in love with it, and it's very hard to beat. I love the quietness of this illustration. You know, there's so much action and so much blood and so much fighting in this series, but there's also a lot of self-contemplation, and I love that this is sort of more on that quiet side, but because you know what he does, and because you know that he is a swordsman, and because you know that there's a lot of fighting involved, especially where this is in the story, there's also quite a lot of tension because of this quietness. You know, he's looking at his sword, and the quietness of the snow falling. And then I also just really love the way that it is situated here on the cover. You know, he's not in the center, he is here off onto the side, and so I think that this just adds a really nice design element to it. So definitely this volume of Vagabond. And my favorite cover at this point in time is Fragments of Horror by Junji Ito, and this is one of my new purchases for this year, and it's just because there's so much layering in it, and it is so great. This cover, you can see, you know, even if you haven't studied art history, you would recognize this as being sort of an homage to The Screamer by Edvard Munch. So you do see, you know, he's a screamer, but also there's, you know, you can see the blood coming down, and so and the eyes here, and there's more horrific elements to this than there is even to the Scream. So this is just, it's such a great take on that, and it's such a great inspiration for horror because there's so much horror to be had from that story. And then it wraps around, and you can see that there are quite a lot of other illustrations. Most of them come from the stories. And then if you get the light right, you can see here that as I reflect it, that there's actually a clear coat that has another illustration on top of it, and it's just this horrific illustration of monsters, and it's another kind of picture of something that happens in the story. And so there's just sort of like this extra element of scariness to this book. And then, you know, this is the cover, like the jacket cover, but then if you actually just had the cover, it has this really beautiful silver and black cover, which is actually the same illustration that you got in the clear coat, so you can actually see it. And it's just, it's so spooky and scary, and because it is in these colors, it just works really, really well. So, and it also has a very soft cover, so it's very, very beautiful on the back as well. So in my collection, personally, I think this is the best cover that I have, but I also just really, really love it, and I love horror manga covers. There's just seems to be kind of more design, or there's just enough, like there's something in it to try and actually make you scared rather than just sort of showcase a character. I just really, really, really respond well to design like this, and I wish that there was more books that came out in this high quality. Great design. I love it. So that's it for my top 10 manga covers list. Definitely if you saw anything in my list that you also thought, wow, that's a really great cover, let me know below, because I just am really curious to find out. I know that I haven't seen any of these covers in anyone else's lists, so yeah, I'm just interested to find other people with like aesthetics, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.